coming on now, and he's going to be live on YouTube, on Zoom. So let me get that going here. And Zoom has changed, so I'm like, I don't even know what's going on half the time with my Zoom room, because now it's in a different window and acting crazy. But anyway, we're here now with Regis and Regis Reeves. This mic is all yours.
You're listening to ACIM.US. You're listening to ACIM Gather Radio for students and teachers of A Course in Miracles. Join us at acimgather.us.
I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, for he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there. I am healed as I let him teach me to heal.
The more you give, the more you give, the more you live, the more you live. Your happiness is relative. But if you're feeling like crap, it's time to face the fact it's your prerogative. Your prerogative to be positive.
Teach only love, for that is what you are, only love. Yes, that is what you are, teach only love. That is what you are. And teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. To everyone you know, teach only love. Love is what you are. Hey, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. In your own special way, teach only love. Love is what you are.
I'm sitting here laughing. First of all, Regis has been cracking me up all morning. Thank you, little brother. I found it interesting that Regis decided to read workbook lesson 163 because after I sent it, every morning there's a small group of us that includes Karen, to whom I send out the link for the lesson of the day. And I decided to go on and read 163. I didn't read 164, but I did read 163. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, talking about minds being joined. So when Regis was reading that, I thought, all right. And since that's the topic for now, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to read a couple of meditations from Ernest Holmes, which speak to the topic of death. And one meditation is titled Born of Eternal Day. That's really not the first one I want to read, is it? It might be. It might be. Yeah, Born of Eternal Day. Child of all good, you are born of eternal day. There is no evening of the soul, for it shall live forever. It is deathless and perfect, complete, and one with the everlasting. No thought of tomorrow can disturb the calm who knows that life is one eternal day. No fear can enter where love reigns. The thoughts of the tomorrows and the yesterdays are swallowed up in the great realization of the perfect here and the complete now. Today, I completely accept my wholeness. And another, the spirit within me is birthless and deathless. It is not born and it cannot die. I have no fear of death, for I perceive that death is an illusion and not the truth. I was born of the Spirit, and I live in the Spirit, and shall continue to live in and by the Spirit. The Spirit within me lives forever. And one more. I shall never die, for the Spirit within me is God and cannot change. My life is hid within the universe of love and light, and that light shall live forever. Go, fear of death and change. Be gone from my thoughts, fear of death and uncertainty. That which is cannot become that which is not, and that which I am can never change. The spirit of eternity is enthroned within me, and the life of endless ages flows through my being. From eternity to eternity, my life flows along its way of peace and harmony. Time brings but more glory to crown me with its pleasures. My life is forever. Yes. I was so this is what happened. I read the workbook lesson this morning, and then I went and read 163 from the workbook, and then I went to some of the meditations by Ernest Holmes and started looking it up. I'm actually putting together a workshop to do first at the Center of Peace on science, called Science of Mind Meets A Course in Miracles, and it's quite an endeavor, because it's quite an endeavor, and I'm trying to figure out a plan on how to put it together. And I figured I would just go with the work lesson or the miracle principles from the course, since it was the course that I was introduced to first, and I'm more familiar with in terms of where and how to find things in it. And then, you know, looking at Science of Mind passages that relate to the course, and it actually should be the other way around. It's the other way around because of course, the whole new thought philosophy came into existence 1895, 1897, something like that, and a lot of the teachings, most of what you'll find in the course is reworded. We were talking about that earlier. I think it was today or yesterday. It was today that Regis was saying. Was that today? Well, listening to, anyway, saying that you hear it, you read it one way, and then you read it another, and you hear it one way, and you may not get it. You may hear it and read it 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways, and then one day somebody says it what you've been saying all along, and may have changed a word. Just move words around, and revelation. So the fact is that there really is nothing new under the sun. It's just the way someone was able to put it together in a work that can be read or heard. That makes all the difference in the world. I get a kick out of when I hear people say they talk about people like Eckhart Tolle with Power of Now, or some of Don Miguel Ruiz's work, or some of Byron Katie's work, or some of these other people. There's so many Abraham. So many of these speakers. They're all saying the same thing. They're just saying it differently. They're saying it in a way, just because there are no two blades of grass that are alike. I'm talking about in form. There's no two blades of grass that are alike, no two thumbprints that are alike, no two anything that is alike in form. That words are form and are given to us as a way of communicating. So how we hear it is different. How everyone hears it is different, and go so far as to say that we can all hear the same thing. Someone can say something, and we can all hear it differently. It just makes perfect sense. I remember when Karen, since she's here, I remember when I was talking to my baby girl about Karen. Karen and I had not had a conversation yet. We were in the same study group together, and I was telling baby girl how I absolutely love the way Karen expresses. I can relate to it really well. And interestingly enough, she sent me an email. Karen sent me an email saying the same thing to me that I was saying to my baby girl. And it was I had to laugh. I called baby girl, listen to this, and I read the email to her. We were saying the exact same thing about each other, because the way Karen expresses for me is clear. It's perfectly clear. And likewise with most of the people here, and Regis and Lynn and Dove, very, very clear for me. Sharon, very, very clear for me. But Karen was for me the newest kid on the block. She was one of the newest people that I had gotten a chance to be in study group with, and here we are now with this group on Mondays that meets during the Miracle Principles, and we hit off from the gate. That's right. We knew that we were related from the door. The revelation came early for both of us, and I'm happy about it. I smile even just thinking about Karen makes me smile. But anyway, so I had no real plan this morning. And Lynn said, "Somebody want the mic?" I said, "Oh, I'll take it." And why not? Why not? It's all about the beauty of truth and life and love. And I so enjoyed Regis this morning. Appreciated Regis focusing on that thing that we seem to be so afraid of. And that is the idea. Okay, here it is. We're, as Regis mentioned, and I'm reiterating, we're not afraid of death. We're afraid of the idea that we're going to die. The idea of death, the thought of death, the belief in death. But in truth, there is no death. When are we going to get that? Things change. We call that a death of sorts, and I believe the workbook lesson 63 started saying that death takes on different forms, and that's true. We go from all things come to pass, and what's the expression? I mean, and that's in the Bible like over 100 and some times. All things come to pass, and what do we say? That someone passed. That's the expression that we use. That they passed. They passed on. And the poem that I wrote called exactly that. The body hurts, the body cries, the body feels the rain. The spirit, though, knows only joy, not sorrow and not pain. Cry not for those who've left this life. They do not need your tears, for they are all beyond that now, with no uncertain fears. And as your well of tears dry, rejoice for loved ones gone, because their spirits never ever die. They just keep passing on. And I wrote that years and years and years ago for someone who called me asking about cremation, right? Asking about cremation and what I thought about it. It didn't matter what I thought. Really, it was, I asked him, well, what do you think about it? And he says, well, I don't know. What's written in the Bible? I says, does it matter? What are your intentions? Well, anyway, it came down to me sharing with him that, as I understand it, and I was fortunate. I have to say, I was fortunate. I wasn't. I went to Catholic school, so Bible reading was not in my. Was not part of my original history. I wasn't taught to read the Bible. I wasn't taught to believe what was being told to me inside of the church, fortunately. And it wasn't until 1985 that I picked up the Bible after listening to this gentleman, John Cherry, on television. He looks like George Jefferson. And I was listening to him. I thought, oh, that sounds pretty cool. So ran around the house and found a King James Bible. Well, that didn't last long, but I started reading. But even from the very beginning in the Bible, because I was reading it for myself, and that was a good thing. That was a good thing, because I was able to. I wasn't told that I wasn't supposed to question. I wasn't told that, so I decided to. I'm reading and already in the creation story, I'm like, I'm not getting this. What do you mean? So in pain shall you bear children. This was the punishment to Eve. In pain shall you bear children, and your husband shall rule over you. Okay, husbands, that was a punishment. The punishment that the husbands will rule over them was what women got for for doing what the man had. Anyway, you know how the actual story goes in the Bible. But I had questions from the very beginning. Where is God talking from? Because I was listening for this, booming voice, asking, "Where are you?" And then I was asking myself, and I was asking, well, if God knows everything, why is God asking? I still had that God knows everything thing from Catholic school. If he knows everything, he's omniscient and omnipotent and omnipresent, so he's everywhere and he knows everything and he's all powerful. If that's the case, then why is God, I mean, from the very beginning, why is God asking questions? That doesn't make sense to me. And I kept on with that. And because I was also told in school that, that with all these mysteries, we would know them after we died. We would find out when we died. And I love what the Course says, why wait for heaven? Be not content with future happiness, the Course teaches. Don't be content with future happiness. You deserve to be happy now. I deserve to be happy now. So I don't have to wait until after I physically make my transition, till I physically pass, to be happy. I'm grateful to, at this moment, having the mic, being with loved ones, looking at the names of people I love, having seen faces of people I love, having been in the company of people I love. I'm happy now, right this moment. I am absolutely in joy, and grateful. So I'm reading this, and then, so God's asking questions, and he's telling, and I see where I see where Adam is blaming Eve, and Eve is blaming a snake, and I'm thinking, snakes don't talk. What is this? What is this? I mean, I'm really into it like that, because I heard later, because remember, I started reading the Bible on my own, that this was literal, and literally it made no sense to me. Now, never mind the fact that I ended up getting a certification as a biblical counselor, but that wasn't until the mid-90s. I did that because I did find wisdom in the Bible. I did find some comforting things in the Bible. I found things that really were helpful to me. I'm not talking about the rape chapters or the stuff that a lot of the stuff that went on as far as the wars and the rumors of wars. No, none of that. I totally passed over that and cried at some of it. But I did find a lot of comfort. I found a passage that said, "In all you're getting, get understanding, get wisdom." How wisdom is, and I used to pray for that. I used to literally pray. I mean, I was praying to a God outside of me, never realizing I was praying to the God that is me. But I actually prayed for wisdom, and it is taught that it is done unto us as we believe, and many times I'm grateful to be able to say that people have told me that, oh, your wisdom. I'm grateful to hear that today, because even though I don't see it or hear it when it's coming out, I don't say things for the purpose of trying to sound wise. I don't say things that doesn't occur to me. But getting that back as a response from some people lets me know that my prayer was answered. It's continually answered. It lets me know that the power of prayer is absolutely real. I can never, ever, ever, ever deny that. I can never, ever deny that. And that's so clear to me. So I'm reading all these different things, and then I get into the next chapter about Cain and Abel, the story of Cain and Abel, and how Cain kills his brother, and then comes the part where I again start to question when God is supposed to, in the Bible, asks Cain, what have you done? And I'm right back to that. Well, wait a minute. You're omniscient. You're supposed to know this. Why are you asking him? Are you trying to test him or something? It just didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense. And after Cain tells God in the Bible story, he says, "What have you done?" He says, "Your brother's blood cries to the ground, cries to me from the ground," and then tells him that he has to go. You got to leave this place. You have to go. And it's written that. I'm sorry. It strikes me so funny to this day. He says, he says, you have to go. And he says, well, no, because wherever I go, the people are going to kill me. And I was expecting the next sentence to say, what people? Because that's what I said. What people? There's Adam, there's Eve, there was Cain, there was Abel. Cain killed his brother Abel. That left 3. So when... Remember, no one taught me about taught me what was in the Bible. I was reading this for myself, which was a really good thing, because I was able to question right from the beginning. Later, much later in the Bible, New Testament, it says something about study to show yourself approved. So that's what I was doing. I was studying because I wanted to know. I wanted to know what this was all about. But so he didn't say what people. He said it's written that God said, oh, well, I'm going to put some kind of a mark on you, and whoever, does anything to you, I'm going to do to them worse than what you did to your brother. And I'm saying, what in the world? It just didn't make sense to me. I found myself, reading this story and thinking, this can't be. When I read about Jonah in the belly of the whale. Okay, so my little mind pictures this person sitting inside of a whale with an oil lamp, because right? But that was my little girl picture, And as I got older, and I still had that concept in my head, I'm thinking, wait, I saw Jaws. I saw that movie, and there was nothing. There was no possible way that anything, Jonah or anyone else, is going to be able to live inside the belly of a whale for 3 days. And then you find out that the number 3 is a big deal number, and in the Bible, and the number 12, and all these different things, and that there's a place in the Bible. I'm just talking out loud, but it's just coming to me. That there's a place in the Bible where it says the Son of God, but it's spelled with capital S-U-N. It's in the Old Testament. The Son of God, the S-U-N of God, capital S-U-N of God. I thought, oh, is this a typo? Well, no. And then there's the other thing, it's just these wonderful biblical things. The other thing about Psalm 46, and I heard that Shakespeare had something to do with the King James Version of the Bible, and that Psalm 46 was a gift to Shakespeare and for his 46th birthday. And if you read down 46 words from in the King James Version, if you read down 46 words, you find the word shake, and if you read up 46 words minus the word Salah, you'll find the word spear. So it was the 46 words down and 46 words up. Psalm 46, supposedly a gift for his 46th birthday. All this, just different things that along the way I've heard and learned. But for me, of course, the concept of Jesus dying, that just didn't work for me. I'm still, questioning that whole resurrection thing anyway. But that's just Zuma, and that's okay. That's okay. Don't judge me. If you do, you're being judgmental. I still have questions about that whole thing. But the whole concept of whether or the fact that Jesus can't die. Jesus, if I can't die, and Jesus is my brother, then Jesus can't die. So the story in the Bible, says he died and came back to life. Likewise with Lazarus. But see, back in those days, words like coma were not real words. Words like unconscious, physically unconscious, were not real words. They weren't words yet in the Bible. These weren't words. I even read somewhere that it was the gall and the vinegar or something that was given to Jesus, put him in a state where he was, kind of like a comatose state, and all that. Then you get to the thing about when he's put in the tomb and how they make it a point whoever the writers were, because the people, it was gospel according to, and not the people themselves. And I read that when I got to the last part of the Gospel of John, where it says, this is the disciple who wrote these things down, and we know that this testimony is true. Well, who's the we? We who? We are the writers of the Gospel according to John. So we know that they weren't the writers, and when it was written, and all this stuff, that it was in plain words, it was pissing me off, because I was being told all this time that this was the book. This was the truth. This was, cover to cover, which I had not read because, again, I was a child. And I still have not read it cover to cover, because a lot of it, first of all, there's redundancy. I mean, little quotes up verbatim written this way and then that way. In Matthew and Mark, there's two passages about Mary Magdalene. They're actually written the exact same words. And no, so we know even then they were plagiarizing, and frankly, how am I going to quote someone that said something 35 years ago when I can't even quote myself from a minute ago? I can't quote what I said 30 seconds ago. Am I sounding cynical at the moment? It's okay, and so it is. I'm just taking the mic. So all these different things, all these different teachings in the Bible, but for me, it started to become comfortable when I would read something like it would refer to God as the Lord and Father, as the Father of, as the Jesus, the Lord of Jesus, or the Father. What is it? the Father of God, worshiping the Father and Jesus. And then there's that speaking that Father and Jesus part. And I'm just talking about the Bible right now because I get the oneness. I understand the oneness today. I'm just speaking about it from a biblical perspective. At a lot of funerals, Christian funerals, they often quote John chapter 14, the first 6 verses. And the first one says, "You believe in God, believe also in me." Well, right there, also symbolizes 2 different sources, if you will, 2 different people. If we were going to make God a person, it's 2 different. It's 2 different somethings and somebodies. Also means and. You believe in God, believe also in me. Believe in me too. I could never understand. I still don't understand why people don't get from that passage alone that Jesus could not have possibly been saying that he was that he was the Father. Saying that he and the Father are one was no different than me saying that Regis and I are one, or that Dove and I are one, or that Lynn and I are one, that Karen and I are one, that Sharon and I are one, that Carrie and I are one, and that all of you whose names I do know. Bear with me for not going down this list. But it's no different than saying we are one. It is written, though, in the Bible that Jesus said, God is spirit, and they that worship must worship in spirit and in truth. It's not written that Jesus said, I am spirit, but again, you know, the course brings a lot more of that to light, this new thought, this new understanding, because again, you know, words like thunder and lightning are not in the Bible, you know, words like electricity are not in the Bible, you know, there's so much more understanding that we have today than back then. Things are open up. We're able to question now. We're able to look at it with a different eye. We're able to look at it through a God eye, not through the eye of the law, the law that said that, you know, this is, you know, we say it so and so it is. No, we're able to look at it and see how life does it, how God does it, how nature does it, how truth does it. You know, how life is always abundant, how things simply change, they transform, that nothing really dies, that that there are no booming voices coming out the sky. Thunder, you heard that just yesterday. No booming voices coming out of the sky. We get to see it from a different point of view. I get to understand and love and recognize the oneness of you and me. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about our bodies, of course, because my perceptions and your perceptions are different in a lot of cases, and then in a lot of cases they're not. You know, we in science of mind, they call it race consciousness, where we all may see things the same way, but then even in our sameness, we see it differently because there's unity but not uniformity. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that because, as I said earlier on, the way one person says something might not be the way I get it, and the way someone else might say it might make perfect sense to me, and that other person saying, "Well, I just said that." That will be grateful that someone else was able to reword what you said, and someone that you hoped would get it got it. It's just wonderful. That's it. The Lord of Jesus. What is it? The Lord. How does that go? The Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's not written in the Bible that Jesus said that he is God. In that sense, he quotes the Old Testament where it says that ye are gods, and that's with a small g, and that's the ocean. You know, we are all of the parts of the ocean. We are in total. We are the ocean. We are the sonship, and every part of it, every part of us is required for it. And it's not that we are a part of it. We are it. in parts, so to speak, in bodies. We are it. Clearly, clearly, clearly. I was thinking about, I was looking at another one of Ernest Holmes' meditations, and thinking about Regis, who always, says everybody loves Regis, and everyone, I love everyone loves Regis. I love Regis. Everyone loves me. I was talking about that to someone yesterday and laughing about it. I don't encounter people having attitudes. That doesn't happen. I smile a lot intentionally, not because I want someone to smile back, but because I feel like smiling. It just so happens that I smile and they feel like smiling too. That's fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that. Good conversations get started that way. But one of the meditations made me think of Regis. Says my feelings cannot be hurt. It's called freedom from sensitiveness. It says freedom from sensitiveness. My feelings cannot be hurt. No one wishes to harm me, and there is nothing in me that can believe in any separation from the all good, all capital A, capital G. I perceive that I am free from all people, and I cannot be harmed nor mistreated. I have such a sense of unity with all that the circle is complete and perfect. I love my friends, and they love me, and that love is in and of God and cannot be marred nor hindered. I am filled with joy and love forever. And what came to mind for me was that nothing real can be threatened because nothing unreal exists. To exist is to have permanence. And what has permanence cannot be threatened. I just smile. I just smile and I smile and I smile. I wake up every morning and the first words the first thought is thank you. My first thought is always thank you. And Karen wrote, when you smile, the whole world smiles with you. and that's the way I feel about it. That's the way I feel about it. Emerson said something to the effect that to trust, let me see. Let me find it actually. I'm going around the board today. I'm going around the board with different thoughts. He said, where is it? To believe your own, this is Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, to believe your own thoughts, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men, that is genius. So if I choose to believe that I am loved, then of course I believe that you are loved, and I exhibit that in the way if I exhibit that, it is a song, Karen, and I love you too, Karen. Thank you. But to exhibit that, that feeling, if I'm feeling good, I'm going to share that because I can't help it. I just can't help it. To exhibit that and to have that return to me, it's just confirmation of the oneness for me. And I get to have that conversation. I'm having it now with my great nephew, whose mother made her transition earlier last week. And as I'm asking him, how he's doing, I had in a text message I sent to him this morning that I trust you're holding fast to the truth of what Joanne, her name was Joanne, of what Joanne is, in parentheses, I put spirit, in the midst of your grief of who she was, parentheses, as a body. And then he said he's trying, and then he has his moments and this, that, and the other, and he's at peace with her transition, but we'll miss her presence too, of course. And I said, well, feel free to call her name. She's closer to you now. Her essence is your essence. There's only one life. That life is God's life. So call her name and feel what you feel. And he thanked me. Because because again, back to what Regis, where we started with this, there is no death. We're free. We're always free. We're always free. We are always free. So where's the fear coming from? What are we afraid of? Why are we walking around in trepidation? Why are we making up these stories to cause us pain? What's up with that? Why do we think that what's out there is creating a problem for us? It's written, it is written, judge not by appearances. You can't go by what you see because that's temporary. If you can see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, or touch it, it's temporary. What you feel, look at what you're feeling, and if what you're feeling is not in tune with what you know, or at least believe to be the truth, that you are what God is, if that's not what you're feeling, if you're not feeling that sense of joy, that sense of, or at least a sense of power, the power that comes from recognizing that. Marianne Williams said, we're afraid of how powerful we really are. Our thoughts have power. We have the power to smile, to laugh, to turn that, turn that frown upside down and turn it into a smile on purpose. And I've actually been in the middle of something where I've said, oh, Zuma, no, because it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. The pain hurts. The pain that I caused myself. All attack is self-attack, and it hurts. I can't. I just sometimes to stop. I mean, really just have to stop. So stop. I still do that. To tell myself, just stop. Just stop. Don't complain about it. Don't criticize it. And somebody said, don't get attached to it. Just let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. There's a passage in the Course that says something about the stuff that bubbles and churns. Let me find that. Bubbles and churns. It says, let go of, in Work Lesson 47, it says, let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind and reach down and below them to the kingdom of heaven. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. Oh, let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind. Let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind and reach down and below them to the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom is within. I have a kingdom that I must rule. That's for me to do. That is for me to do. I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. That's Workbook Lesson 236. Regis brought it up earlier. I'm bringing it up again. I have a kingdom I must rule. At times, it doesn't seem I am its king at all. It seems to triumph over me and tell me what to think and what to do and feel. And yet, it has been given me to serve whatever purpose I perceive in it. It has been given me, you, us, to serve whatever purpose we perceive in it. My mind can only serve. Your mind can only serve. So you're not serving your mind. Your mind is only serving you. It can only serve you. Today, I give it service to the Holy Spirit. That's key. Just turn it over. You have got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah. I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. And in one of the early workbook lessons, one of the early review lessons, let's see if I can find that. I'm thinking it's somewhere around 52, somewhere around there. It says the same thing. You know, wait a minute. Let me interject this. I decided to get the green with the Pal Talk. I'm getting advertisements. What's up with that? Why is that happening? That should not be happening. That's getting annoying now. I'm getting advertisements. And I thought that was supposed to, I wasn't getting advertisements before. Anyway, let me find this. I believe it was in Workbook Lesson 52, which says something very similar. Reality is never frightening. That's not it. In 51, part 2, I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this only this, it is only this and only this that I see. It's not vision, it's merely an illusion of reality, because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. That's not the one I'm looking for. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. This is in Lesson 52. It is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality and thus regard reality as an illusion. In other words, I'm turning the whole thing around. I'm turning the whole thing around. I'm looking at truth as if it's not true, and I'm looking at what is true as though it's not. In Workbook Lesson 53, number 2, insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking. And chaos has no laws. You know that's more grounds for getting my doing more decluttering in this house, right? I cannot live in peace in such a world. I am grateful that this world is not real and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. Those early workbook lessons, 51, 52, 53, those they they're a big deal to me. Those are big deals to me. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything, by everything. That's in Workbook Lesson 55, number 2. What I see now in part 1, what I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. I don't want to talk about that. I really don't. It goes on to say, though, I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me rather than those which show me an illusion of myself. If I'm seeing an illusion of myself, that means I'm in pain. If I'm seeing an illusion of myself, I'm talking about the stuff from the past. I'm going back and telling the story over and over and over again. I'm telling that past story. Oh, let go of the story and allow the glory. Regis, I got it. Let go of the story and reveal. Let go of the story and reveal the glory. Allow the glory. Let go of the gory story and allow the glory. Yes, you have got to let that stuff go. The course teaches let it go. How can you hold on to what's already gone? So we keep telling that story of, what happened and who did it and why it happened. Well, if we're looking at what's outside of us as the why as to the why it happened, then we're not recognizing that we are responsible for everything that has gone on. And Lynn writes, let go with Lindy writes, let go of the story and allow the glory. Yes. And Karen writes, forgive and this will disappear. Absolutely. I can make it go away. Oof. Close my eyes and it's gone. In fact, it's already gone. Remember, the sanitation department came and picked it up already, took it away. So why are you still looking in that can? Looking for that thing that's already gone. It's gone because it's supposed to be. It's time to create new memories. And the only way you can do that is to be willing to let go of the old ones. Workbook lesson number 7 teaches us that miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. Purification is necessary first. We got to clean that stuff out. Just let it go. Just release it and let it go. Just release it and let it go. Let go and let God. Let the God that you are be it be. Just let it be. Just let it well up in you and share and show its power and be magnanimous, great and wonderful. That's what we are. Great and wonderful. Where is that section about magnanimous? Magnanimous, where is that? It talks about us really being more than we are. I'm actually getting more advertisements. What the heck is going on here? Why? Oh, it's not with the Pal Talk, it's with the course.
Oh, yeah. And that's Zuma Gonzalez. Thank you, Zuma. And, man, I tell you, it's amazing the synchronicity no matter what we do. It always comes out roses. It always comes out perfect. Because that talk from a little while back is just perfect with today's lesson. And we know the Course in Miracles says the same thing over and over throughout the book. But we have different personalities, different vocabularies, different emotions and experiences that it speaks to. Because if you don't get it one way, if one way doesn't resonate with you, it resonates through another chapter or another lesson. And so today's lesson 304, let not my world, Regis' world, your world, let not my world obscure the sight of Christ. So who's doing it? The world is not happening to me, the world is happening through me. Let go of the story and allow the glory. I can obscure my holy sight if I intrude my world upon it. If I insist on my story, if I insist on the stories of who I am, my mama's baby, my daddy's boy, my neighbors, my next door neighbor, and all of that, in all of my school experience and my upbringing and my bad relationships and marriages and whatever, if I choose to let the politics of the day, the wars of the day, obscure the sight of Christ. Love is all around. The world don't need love. The love is already here. We don't have to conjure it up. We don't have to go get it. We don't have to pray up on it. It's here right now. But the Course in Miracles says we're not here to teach love or to discover love. We're here to remove the blocks to love that's already present. And so let not my world, this world that I've created and believed, obscure the sight of Christ. I can obscure my holy sight if I intrude my world upon it. Nor can I behold the holy sights Christ look upon unless it is his vision that I use. Perception is a mirror, not a fact. And what I look on is my state of mind reflected outward. The calls are coming from inside the house. I would bless the world by looking on it through the eyes of Christ. And I used to pray this in my 20s. I mean, over 30 years ago. I used to pray this often. Lord, help me to see myself as you see me. I was even way before I came into the knowledge of A Course in Miracles and anything else, I realized there was another sight, there was another way of seeing, and I asked for help. Help me to see myself as you see me. And I received that help, and I'm still receiving that help. I would bless the world by looking on it through the eyes of Christ, and I will look upon it, and I will look upon the certain signs that all my signs have been forgiven. I will look upon the love. I will see the love. I will look for the signs. How I know that all is forgiven? Because I exist. How do I know that I'm worthy and that I'm enough? Because I exist.
is what you are, only love. Yes, that is what you are, teach only love. That is what you are. Teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. To everyone you know, teach only love. Love is what you are. Hey, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. In your own special way, teach only love. Love is what you are.
You're listening to ACIM Gather Radio for students and teachers of A Course in Miracles. Join us at acimgather.us.
The more you give, the more you give, the more you live, the more you live. Your happiness is relative. But if you're feeling like crap, it's time to face the fact it's your prerogative. Your prerogative to be positive.
All right, Lynn, Dove, and Myrna, take it away.
Thank you so much, Regis.